Welcome back, all my Tech Mixers. It's a bright and sunny morning that I'm spending in my basement, and on this day, we're going to be talking about a show that I didn't really think I was going to talk about on this channel until I watched it, and it turns out it was pretty amazing, so I think everyone should go see it. And the show in question is the new Netflix show Arcane by the League of Legends guys at Riot Games. It's a bit of a weird recommendation, but I promise it's really freaking good.
Oh, he's technically Mexican and 3/4 American, but for 3 generations he's got that nationality. Great-great-grandpa headed south, whose kids had kids then turned around. It's not what the show's about, but it's why he's Mexican technically. He hopes that he was raised in New Mexico, lived in Guadalajara for 2 years, speaks fluent Spanish with a bachelor's degree in language and examining keto.
That's right. I think everyone should watch Riot Games' newest endeavor, their animated League of Legends TV show called Arcane. And I fully admit that that's a bit of a weird sell, and I also have to admit that I play League of Legends. I've played the game for several years, and I enjoy it a lot. I've been playing significantly less of it this year, mostly because I'm spending the majority of my time doing this, but also because there were a lot of changes this year that I wasn't a big fan of, but that's a completely different story for a different video. But I don't want you to think that I'm recommending this show because I'm a fan of the video games, because I was actually not excited for this show. I saw the announcements that they'd made and immediately dismissed them until I stumbled across the show, and I was honestly blown away with the quality. Now, why is it a weird sell? Well, it's a video game movie, and those adaptations have been historically terrible. I think that Sonic the Hedgehog, like last year, was like the first actually okay video game adaptation, and it was fine. So immediately I know a lot of people are turned off. But in this case, the video game is almost like not even a factor in the storytelling for the show. If you don't know what League of Legends is, it is an online multiplayer game. It's a scrimmage game. You select your favorite from a roster of characters, and you join a team of 4 other people, and you fight against a team of 5. There's really no story connected to the game. Now, I mean, Riot Games, the creators of League of Legends, they have gone throughout the tenure of League of Legends, they have gone through and written backstories and lore for all of the characters involved in the game, and no one reads those. So even though I've played the game for many years, it's literally like playing chess for me. I move the pieces around, and there's no real story. And even the lore that is created for the game is super loose and doesn't really hold up. I mean, if you look at their roster of 157 playable characters in the game, there's kind of some crazy inconsistencies. You've got your regular type humans you can play as, like Punchy Girl and Crazy Girl and Shooty Girl and Hammer Boy, and these characters happen to be featured in the new show Arcane. But then you also have champions you can play as, like a depressed mummy, and a guy made of fire, and a giant winged colossus that towers over regular-sized people. Also, a fish guy. Also, a beholder. Also, a cat who flies on a book. Also, a cosmic space dragon that throws suns at you. Also, a pop star for some reason, honestly, this is the one that confuses me the most. But if you're looking at this roster of a bunch of characters that you can play in the game, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And if you try and connect all the lores, like, why would a space dragon be fighting a regular human, and why would that be a contest? It's a game, doesn't make sense. And because it doesn't make sense, it literally has no effect on the story that they're telling in the TV show. And that gives this video game adaptation movie, honestly, a leg up on other video games, because it's really based on nothing and they can tell whatever story they want. And I was not expecting this to be good at all, but I watched it and it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at this. The animation in this show is absolutely stunning and beautiful and artistic, and it's really well directed. Like, there's some amazing framing and some really, really great artistic sequences, and the show looks fantastic. One negative, I don't like how the people's mouths move. It looks a little bit awkward, but it's animated. That's just a tiny little speed bump. But the show looks fantastic. The story is not finished yet. The first season consists of 9 episodes, only 6 of which are currently available. They've divided the entire show up into 3 acts. The first act dropped 2 weekends ago with 3 episodes. The second act dropped this past weekend, and the third act is dropping this weekend. 3 episodes each. And there's a bit of a time jump between acts 1 and 2, and there's probably going to be a time jump in between acts 2 and 3 as well. And for this video, I'm really focused only on act 1. I'll do another video on act 2 and probably 3 if the show keeps up the quality that it's displayed so far. So I've already talked about how the animation is beautiful. So let's talk about the story. Without getting into any spoilers, the world building is really interesting. There's a lot of intricacies and there's a lot of detail, and the world really feels fleshed out and lived in and believable, despite magic, you know. It's a really interesting setting for the story, and the story itself, I don't think is anything super special or super groundbreaking. The story starts off with a very basic common plot. It's not breaking any barriers, and so the story is fairly simple, but it's done really well. And so, although it does tread common ground, it by no means feels cliche. And at the end of part 1, there are subversions of expectations and subversions of those common tropes. And I think it's done really well and really smartly, and it's very mature in the way that it addresses the storytelling and themes that it chooses to take on. And it's not a kid's show. So don't think that, because it's animated, it's for babies. This is, this show doesn't hold your hand and explain every little thing to you. You get a lot of the information through context clues and through implications, and it's really cool. It's really freaking good, and everyone should watch it. I think I'll do a 4th video at the end of the series talking about specific spoilers, but for now, honestly, just go out and watch Act 1. And then you can also currently, right now, watch Act 2. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and I was totally surprised at how much I enjoyed the show. It was great. So we'll see you back when we talk about parts 2 and 3. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and share this video with your friends, because I really need to hit 1K subscribers. That's the goal. We're about a third of the way, so it's pretty good. But obviously, I want more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye!